Hey, welcome back to Crimes and Closets. This is Christy in my closet in St. Louis.
And this is Beth in my closet in North Carolina. I just thought I'd stay on your little sing-song there.
Thank you for
Anytime.
matching me.
You're welcome. I'm here for you. Happy Monday.
Yes, happy Monday, Beth. How's it going?
Oh, it's Monday. It's not when we're recording, but it feels like Monday.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it feels like that right now.
And we both have like so much in our brains right now, and my brain is not working properly. And so, it's a Monday all week long.
Yeah. It is, for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Except I am now, so as of episode dropping, we'll have gone to see Pink again.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was so soon. I didn't look at the dates.
Yes. So my 20th anniversary was on Wednesday, August 9th, and we are recording on the next day, Thursday, right now. But this drops on Monday, so we're like days off. But anyway, my husband surprised me with tickets to see Pink in Chicago on Saturday, the 12th.
I didn't look at the date. I just saw and then you said going Saturday, coming back Sunday, but I didn't register that it was this Saturday. That is exciting.
Yeah.
And this album is so good.
I know.
Yeah.
I love it. I just love her.
Right. Have you seen the shirts that everyone, they keep coming up on my Facebook? The next time it does, I'll send it. But it's just her face.
Oh,
and she's blowing bubble gum, like the pink bubble gum. It's so cute.
It is cute.
You need that.
I need to get something. I didn't get anything the last time we went, but that was like a whirlwind kind of thing, and like big, huge venue. Like that was just overwhelming, and like so many people that were there. Anyway, so it was just. I mean, I know this will be kind of similar, but a little different.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. So I'm excited. We're going. We will have already seen her when this drops.
It is so exciting.
My friend from the neighborhood is going too. Like she's had this planned, like the same one that ran the half with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you read my message on Snapchat about that?
Well, I'm sure I did.
I knew that he was thinking of getting you tickets to Pink. I didn't know that he did, but he was talking about it. And at the same time, you were talking about surprising him with Pink tickets.
Oh, yes.
Birthday. And I was like, oh gosh, you're both thinking the same thing, which is so cute, by the way. But anyway, but then you said you didn't. You were like, no, I didn't. That's why I asked you. Remember, I was like, did you ever get those Pink tickets?
Oh,
and you were
yeah.
Like, no.
Oh, yeah. Well, because you guys couldn't do it. And like another one of his friends, Kevin, that I asked couldn't do it. Or they could do it, but they didn't want to go to the Pink concert. They were like, we'll come for the weekend where you go, but we're not going to the concert. And I was just kind of like, well, then the tickets are for me, Kelly, and Emery. And that's not really a present for Emery. It's like me and my best friend and Emery tagging along.
And your favorite artist.
Right. So I was like, probably not a good birthday present for
him. Yes. Anyway, that's why I was asked you though, because I was like, oh gosh. I mean, you could have gone twice, obviously, and seen her, but.
Right. But what if it was the same one? You know, like.
Yes.
I was looking at Chicago, Nashville, or like I was looking at a few of them, but anyways, it was, So yay.
Anyway. I read this morning too that it's not as exciting as Pink, but I did a little dance that Sister Wives is coming back. Cody Brown is coming back. If you listen to our Patreon, then you know, like, I watch the stupidest, most ridiculous shows ever, and Sister Wives is one that I have been watching 100 years, and they didn't think they were coming back because he only has one wife now. There is no Sister Wives anymore. So what is the premise of it going to be even? I have no idea, but I'm here for it.
Seeking Sister Wives now?
I know, right? No, I think he's done with the multiple wives. He is. He got burned real bad. And I mean, he's a butthole. Like, he really is the worst.
Yeah.
The worst.
Maybe they just want to do like some sort of like update. Like, here's what his life is going to be like, just to let the people know.
Maybe it's the wives that left are still going to be on it.
Oh.
And it's going to be about their lives too, but just separately. which is what I'm hoping, actually, because, see, I should have watched the trailer, but I had such a crazy morning.
Yeah.
But it's on my list to do today. But I really love 3 of the wives. 2 specifically I really love. But the one that he stayed with, she was never my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you can skip past this, you guys, if you don't care. But I was so excited. I was like, no way. Oh, the man I love to hate is coming back to the screen. So yeah.
Love to hate. Oh my gosh.
And it's like now. It's like the 20-something of August.
Oh, well, I'll know when it comes out. I probably won't hear from you while you're watching
Exactly. Oh my gosh. I'm just so excited. I'm sure it'll just be 1 episode at a time, so it won't take up too much time.
Right. You won't binge it like I do, like literally watch an entire series in a day.
Yeah, no, it's on like TV. Like,
right.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what's exciting in my house. Okay. That's the difference between me and you. At this time, you get 20th anniversary Pink, and I get Cody Brown. Anyway, that's very exciting. 20 years, by the way. Congrats.
Thank you.
It's cool.
It's a lot. It's significant.
Whole life.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Really. Like, I'm like, married a long time.
How old were you when you got married?
25.
Okay, so when you're almost married as long as you were not, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
And my parents will be 50 this year.
So that's neat that you both have a milestone birthday. You guys should have done something, like a trip or something together.
Well, that was kind of the idea of their Disney cruise.
Oh, right.
Sort of. I mean, like, I know it's a Disney cruise, so it's really like, but it was like, hey, why don't you come on this trip together, and we'll like, it'll be kind of like anniversary. And so they did make that their gift to each other.
That's so nice.
So anyway, okay. Do we have exciting pod news too, right? New Patreons?
We do. We have 3 new Patreon patrons this week. We have Ashley P, Elizabeth L, and Shawnee S.
Oh, yay. Welcome,
beautiful
guys.
Names. I love it. We appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah. I wonder what made like that influx. I know that's not that many, but it's 3. It's more than we usually get in like
Survivor
a week.
September.
Yeah, that's true.
I think people want to hear those, and they're good. I mean, we've got some, and they're in the pipe, and they're good. So
yeah. All right.
Yeah. And then Serial Killer September on this Monday feed. Like you guys could forget.
Right. I know. I can't forget. So I'm not going to let you forget.
So we're actually, today that we're recording some serial killer episodes to get them in the bank. And I named my, my name today on the recording session is Sage September, because that is what I will be doing, is saging my pod lab because of all the serial killer nonsense going on.
Mine's brain invaders, because they always invade my brain for like ever, because you can't stop. There's so much information you can't stop thinking about all freaking people and whatever.
Yeah, so. It's freaking scary. Anyway.
Yeah, it is.
But today we do not have a serial killer, right?
Nope, but I do have a kind of crazy story in a way that we had a connection with a listener with. So,
okay.
Ready to go.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so this case was sent to us by our friend Jessica.
Hello, Jessica.
Yes,
we love Jessica.
Yes, we do.
She lives nearby me.
She does, and I used to go to church with her, and she's a personal friend, and so I was texting with her about this quite a bit over the last week. She sent this to us a long time ago. I can't remember when it was, but I kept putting it off because it's not fully resolved when she sent it, and it still isn't, but I just wanted to tell the story. And when there is a resolution, if there's a resolution, we can post an update. I believe there will be a resolution either way. And I'm in a direction of where it's going to go, which is why I was like, I'm just going to do it, because I think this is where it's going, and it's fine. So anyway. Okay. It's the story of Natalie and Michael Cochran from Daniels, West Virginia.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wild and wonderful.
Yes. Is that close to you? I didn't look it up on a map.
I've never heard of Daniels, West Virginia, so I'm going to say no.
Well, like Beckley?
Oh, well,
I actually
like
don't
an
know.
hour and 15 minutes. Yes.
So yes, fairly. Okay. I'm assuming, I also didn't look that up, but that is where she is originally from, in Beckley. And so I'm just assuming that Daniels is like somewhere kind of close to there, because they didn't go far from home, I don't think. So anyway, but it's in Raleigh County.
Yeah. So I know where that is, and that's like an hour and a half away.
Okay. All right.
Where I grew up.
Okay. Well, it's also very confusing because
yes,
of Raleigh, North Carolina. So like, I thought I was looking up stuff in West Virginia, and then I started seeing Raleigh this, Raleigh that, Raleigh General Hospital. And I'm like, where the heck am I? Am I in North Carolina? Yeah. So anyway, it was kind of funny, but anyways, all right. So Natalie and Michael Cochran. And this seems to happen a little bit more often, because I feel like we say it and then we're like, oh, we never do that. But we're going to talk a little bit more about the murderer than the victim in this. But it's just the nature of this one, because honestly, there's not a whole lot out there on this case. And all the articles that there are, it basically repeats the same thing that all the other ones have. So anyway, I don't know if it's because it's in such a small town. I don't know, but it's kind of a crazy, wild story. So anyway, okay. So also, there's not a lot out there because likely the case is still pending. And so they probably want to keep some stuff kind of closer to their belt than they would. So anyways, we'll update you on. But Jessica, our listener, was friends with Natalie in high school, like close friends, at least for 1 year, junior year. They went to Greater Beckley Christian School in Beckley, West Virginia together, and they graduated in 1999. Okay. Jessica was on the cheerleading team and with Natalie, and they were officers in the National Honor Society together. Natalie was the valedictorian of their class, was an honor graduate, and part of the American Christian Honor Society as well.
Oh, Natalie seems great.
She does, doesn't she? Okay. Jessica shared pictures from her high school yearbooks and notes that Natalie had written to her in those yearbooks. And so, like, I hate to say that it was like fun to like get this information, but it was kind of like, whoa, somebody we know was like that close to somebody that we're doing a story on. Like, yeah. Oh my gosh. So anyways, Natalie was the youngest of 4 children, but all of her siblings were kind of old enough or older than her that they were out of the house already when Jessica was friends with her. So anyway, and none of this is mentioned, like names of parents, siblings, like none of the background information that we typically have is like in any of these articles. So it's kind of nice to have something that Jessica could give us. So anyway, like I said, Jessica said they were close friends their junior year, but then Natalie started pulling away from a lot of her friends after that, and they drifted apart. Natalie stopped participating in things, started losing weight, and according to Jessica, she's like, she wasn't big to begin with, so when you're losing weight, you're not that big. It just doesn't always look great on you. She said that Jessica had said that she'd gone into the bathroom after her one time and found out that she was getting rid of her lunch, and it almost seemed like she wasn't like flushing on purpose because she thought somebody might come in behind her and see that. And I don't know, maybe that was a cry for help. I don't know. But anyway, she said that things just started getting weird, and they drifted apart. So after they graduated, they went to different schools and then totally lost touch. Jessica went off to nursing school, and Natalie went off to West Virginia University and got a pharmaceutical degree. Okay. I'm assuming that's where she got that degree from, because I saw somewhere that's where she went to school. So didn't look up if they have that.
but I'm sure they do. Yeah, it's a big school.
Okay. According to a source, Natalie and Michael were high school sweethearts and then married while in college. Jessica told me that she didn't really know her husband and only knew a few people that Natalie had dated in high school. So I don't really know if that whole high school sweetheart thing is true or not, if Jessica's like, I don't really know her husband, because their class was very small, unless he was like a year older or younger.
Oh, okay.
So anyway. Jessica said she had run into them at a restaurant when she went back home for a visit, and they made eye contact, and she said hello to Natalie, but Natalie acted like she did not even know who she was.
Oh, rude.
Yeah. So anyway, Natalie and Michael have 2 children, Nicole in 2006 and Ashton in 2008. And at the time of this story, which is 2019, so it's not too far ago. Too far ago? Yeah?
I don't know why that made me laugh. Not too far ago.
Too far ago. Too long ago. The 2 had been married for 19 years, and both children were 13 and 11, respectively.
Okay. It's a long time.
Yeah, 19. I'm on 19. I'm about to hit 20 in a couple weeks.
I know. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's too long. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Totally kidding. Okay.
Blissful 20 years.
Yes. We have no plans. What the heck? What's wrong with us? We'll figure it out. Okay. Anyway, in 2017, Natalie had stopped being a pharmacist. We're not sure if she quit or if she was fired, but her and Michael decided to start 2 businesses. They're called Tactical Solutions Group and Technological Management Solutions, both LLCs from what I understand.
Okay.
Both businesses were registered as federal contractors, and they were said to provide semi-automatic weapons to the U.S. Department of Defense and other defense agencies. How in the world you just decide to up and get into that kind of business, I have no idea.
Right.
Right? Like, where do you, like, all of a sudden have access to semi-automatic weapons to provide to the U.S. government?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. I don't know how to.
Unless you're getting them from the dumpster from that one story that would happen.
Oh my gosh!
Like
illegally.
Yeah, like I don't understand. Okay, so it's very confusing, but okay. So when they started these businesses, they were looking for investors, which is what people do when you start a business. You get friends, families, coworkers, neighbors, old, like other businesses to invest their money in it. The investors were told that their money would be invested in the contracts that they received from the government, and then a portion of the profits from those contracts would come back to them when the contracts were complete. Okay.
Sure.
They managed to get 11 people to invest, including Michael's mom, stepdad, who invested their entire retirement savings of like over $240,000. All of it.
No.
Someone from North Carolina, see, this is also why it confused me because there was a North Carolina connection, sent them like over $500,000. And that was,
gosh.
Yeah. In all of the articles, that was all that was said. Like, oh, an investor from North Carolina sent them $500,000. So like, I don't know if it was the amount that it was like everyone wanted to like say that in the article, but they never said who it was or anything. It was a company, nothing.
Yeah, so it wasn't me.
It was not you. It wasn't me. Well, I wasn't living there at the time. Oh, we just moved, actually.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't us.
Okay. In total, it was stated that they raised about $2.5 million in investments. Not a bad little, I don't know, fundraising to start their business. No.
It's a hefty amount of money.
It is. So from what we know, Natalie ran the business solely, but it was in both of their names. But we could be wrong about that. We don't know for sure, but that's what is being stated. Natalie was also the board treasurer of Shady Springs Youth Baseball League. And so the couple was also helping raise funds for that and that program and Shady Springs Middle School football team. They helped raise a total of $32,000 by donating semi-automatic weapons as bingo prizes at a fundraiser. I have so many questions.
Well, I have the answer to all of them, I think. West Virginia.
Well, okay.
That's the answer.
So I'm not going to lie. I did think that like, geez, only West Virginia and maybe a couple other states this would happen in. But like, seriously, why do you need that as a prize, as a bingo bingo prize? I want to win $20. I don't want to win a semi-automatic weapon.
No. And it's like the people that you're giving these semi-automatic weapons to, you don't know what they're going to do with that. Like, that's not advisable. That's scary. That's a scary bingo game.
So my question was also like, okay, so they donated those as prizes. So they raised that much money because so many people wanted to win those that they like bought tickets to this bingo event. Because how else do you like, anyway, it's all very shady to me. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah. I wouldn't go. I would yeet right out of that bingo game.
Thank you. Okay. So half of the money went to that football team and the other half went to the baseball league. So the couple appeared to be doing well with their business as they bought a few properties, some jewelry, multiple vehicles, including a 1965 Shelby Cobra, which was named specifically in every article. So I was like, well, what the heck is that? So I looked at it. Car. It is. It's a really neat little convertible, like old-timey convertible. Clearly it's 1965, but it did say online that it would be worth like over $1 million now. But it also said that there was no record of one being sold for less than like $800,000 or $500,000 or something like that. And I don't know that they spent that much money on it.
That is crazy. I have a friend who has one because her name is Shelby after the Shelby Cobra. And so her dad bought one and restored it for her and gave it to her when she graduated high school.
Oh my gosh. Well,
isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That is nuts. I wonder if she still has it.
I know, you should ask her. Find out.
Yeah.
So anyway, as I was saying, I don't know how much they paid for it, but it was stated that there was a withdrawal in the amount of $37,500 to go towards the purchase of that car. Don't know if that was the total purchase price or just like, I don't know. It was just mentioned in an article. The things that were mentioned and not mentioned were very random and weird. Okay. So in early 2019, some investors were getting tired of not seeing any of their money back from their investment. And so there was always an excuse from Natalie, and she would provide them with letters from the government stating that the accounts were frozen and that they would get a check soon from the investments. I don't know, but it was always on government letterhead. So some probably tended to believe it. Somehow, likely an investor complained or questioned things, and these companies, their two companies, were being started to get investigated by the federal government. So I'm assuming that somebody complained, put a complaint in. I don't know where you do that. Who you call? Senator? Hey, I invested money in
the Better Business Bureau.
But is that federal government?
I don't know. I think it is.
Okay. Well, I don't know either. But anyway, they got on the radar of the feds, and they started getting investigated. The investigation revealed that these companies had no federal contracts. They did have a few state contracts that they acquired, but those were voided due to lack of performance. So they weren't providing anything to them either. And so they voided them out. During the investigation, it's also discovered that $16,000, which is half of that amount that they donated, remember, or got raised for the two sports teams, had been withdrawn from the baseball league's account, which is the one that she was a treasurer of. So basically the full amount that they got from that fundraiser was taken out while she was treasurer.
Can't be stealing from the children.
Mm-hmm. In addition to multiple other withdrawals from that account that were not board approved, because you can't, just because you're the treasurer doesn't mean you can write checks. Like, you still have to have a meeting. Right. Oh, we owe this money. I'm going to write the check, blah, blah, blah. In the end, the board account had only $31 left in it. And she's the treasurer during this time. Yeah. According to investigators, there's no evidence proving that Michael knew anything about what Natalie may or may have not have done with these companies or with that board when she was treasurer.
Right.
It stated that she ran them on a daily basis, and as far as he was concerned, they were living within their means. However, they were not, because out of the total of $2.5 million of investments, some of that money from newer investors was used to pay back some of the older investors, just to kind of keep them happy, like, oh, okay, we got some of our money back. But that's not how you're supposed to do things, clearly.
No.
That's called a Ponzi scheme. Mm-hmm. $1 million of the investors' money was being used to support their lavish lifestyles. It never went into the company's bank account. It went into their personal bank account. So all the properties, vehicles, and jewelry that were being bought with all that money was supposed to be for the company. Michael's own mother stated that he actually never asked her to invest. It was Natalie that came and talked to them about it. So this is where like people are thinking like, well, maybe Michael didn't know, like, cause you know, he didn't even ask his mom to be an investor and he didn't even know and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, but there's like all this speculation that he knew nothing about it. I kind of find it hard to believe that you wouldn't have any kind of clue, but I don't know. I mean, I guess if Emery was embezzling money and stuff, I don't know if I would know.
Well, for a while, maybe not, but I feel like at some point something would happen that would make you kind of be like, I have some questions. I don't know.
Well, in this case,
but maybe she always had answers when he asked.
Well, yes. And so in this case, for me, it would have been more like how they were able to live this lavish lifestyle so quickly after starting these companies, you know, like, because companies usually take a little bit to get off the ground.
Right.
So I think that would have been more my like, how are we doing this this quickly kind of thing.
Right.
But anyway,
makes sense. Yeah.
Who knows? Okay, so on February 6, 2019, Michael fell ill at their home, and according to some sources, was like vomiting and felt weak and whatever, and then he had a seizure. When he fell, while he was having the seizure, he hit his head on the counter, and one source said that he hit it so hard he broke the counter. I don't know how that's possible.
Oh, gosh.
What kind of counters it is. At first, Natalie decided to attend to his medical needs herself. Pharmacist equates to a medical degree? Is that possible? No.
No. Mm-mm.
Confused by that, but okay. Maybe she felt that she knew what she needed to do in this instance to help him. She did call a couple of friends to help to come by and check on him. One was a state trooper and his wife was a physician's assistant. So I guess maybe she was like, okay, well, I know he had a seizure. I know we can't, do anything about it or whatever. Let me call my friends that might have an idea too. Whatever.
Okay.
I don't know if that's how I would do it, but so then after that, she called Chris Davis, who was a neighbor / friend / attorney, to come by. Mm-hmm. Chris, after Chris got there, he actually was the person that arranged for Michael to be transferred to Raleigh General Hospital within 20 minutes of the fall, it was stated.
Okay.
Natalie and Chris were his medical power of attorneys. So according to his will that he had drawn up like a couple years earlier, not much is known as to what kind of treatment Michael was given at that hospital or what was thought to have happened to cause this seizure. But within days, Natalie had him transferred to Bowers Hospice Care, where Michael died on February 11th, 2019, just 5 days after he got sick.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
And he's 38 years old.
Okay, what happened?
Okay, well, his death was ruled natural causes, as is common with somebody when they're in hospice. So you're in hospice, clearly something you're sick enough to be there and you're going to die. And so they don't do an autopsy unless asked, I'm assuming.
Oh.
So they just ruled it natural causes. So his death certificate was just written up natural causes. That's it.
And they did not do an autopsy.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Oh, no. No.
So within days, they had a small graveside service for Michael. Only his mom, stepdad, in-laws, children, and Natalie were present. This was done according to Natalie because that's what Michael stated he wanted in his will. And so we're going to do it. So literally just like a couple days later, here we go. Graveside, funeral, buried, done. His father and stepmother were not present as they had had a falling out about 10 years earlier and hadn't spoken since. But his dad was like, what the heck? Still, like, wouldn't you still invite a father, even if,
yes, you better invite their dad.
Yeah, but I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so through all of this, Natalie is still being investigated because she had started the investigation of the company had started before he died. So at this point, he is aware that something's happening or at least getting wind of it. She's being investigated through his illness, after his death and whatever, like I said, for what they call a Ponzi scheme, which by definition is investment into non-existent enterprise, and older investors are paid back quickly by the money from newer investments. So
you're funneling money around to different accounts and people.
And using the rest of it for yourself. So anyway, after Michael's death, Natalie set up the Coach Michael Cochran Legacy Scholarship for local teams. How she's doing this while she's being investigated, I have no idea. But anyway, she picked at least 6 recipients, and those families canceled loans because they had no longer needed the money to pay for college. And they also did not apply for other scholarships as they felt it was unfair to take scholarships from multiple funds. But the scholarships that Natalie offered them never paid out.
Oh my gosh, these poor kids were going to college and didn't have any money?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was actually more recipients, but some of them were her own family members. These were like recipients that were like not related to her that I'm talking about specifically. But yeah, she didn't have the money to do it. Her accounts are basically frozen right now because they're investigating her. They're not going to give her access to anything.
So the people that are investing don't know she's being investigated?
Well, I think some of them are made aware at some point, yes.
When they... Okay.
Well, I mean, after they invested. And because somebody made a complaint.
What about the people that took the scholarships? Did they know?
Oh, well, I don't think they knew at that time.
Okay, gotcha.
Because I wouldn't imagine if you did, if it was public knowledge. Like, I'm sure it was being investigated, but it was kind of quiet until all this other stuff is about to come out. But
yeah, because they wouldn't have hedged their bets on her if they knew she had been like a part of a Ponzi scheme and owed people a bunch of money that she stole.
Because I want to say that it was like early 2019, that like January, that they started investigating her.
Right.
Then he died in February and she's starting these. Right. So it's like, it's pretty quick that all of it's happening. Anyway, okay. So it's still very, anyway.
Disturbing.
It is disturbing. Okay. So also at some point after Michael's death, which I'm assuming also very quickly because once all this comes out, no one's going to want to buy these companies, but she had arranged the sale of Tactical Solutions to a local orthodontist. What he wants to do, selling semi-automatic weapons to federal government, I have no idea. But again, West Virginia, I guess. So this person gave her $50,000 down payment, but then he backed out of the deal. My guess is he became aware of some of these investigations. So gave this $50,000, but then never went through with the deal. I don't know. I'm assuming she got to keep it. I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. In October of 2019, Natalie was brought up on 26 count federal indictment for a multi-million-dollar Ponzi scheme. So it didn't take them a whole lot of time, but almost, 3/4 of a year.
Right.
In September of 2020, Natalie pled guilty to 1 count of wire fraud and 1 count of money laundering. And she was sentenced in early 2021 to 135 months or 11 years in federal prison. So it went downhill real fast for her.
Yeah, that's a long time.
It is. I'm assuming she would have gotten more if she had been found guilty of these 26 counts. And that's why she took that plea deal. And I'm assuming they had enough evidence on her to prove all of this. So,
right.
Okay. But this story is not over yet. Okay. So as this investigation was happening, they began to look closer at Michael's death. Because his father, who was not invited to the ceremony, and after this quick private graveside ceremony, was like, what the heck? Something's not right here. So the police started to wonder also if Michael was not part of this scheme, as the federal investigators had stated, then maybe he was starting to get suspicious, or because the investigation had already started, he started asking questions, and Natalie was just kind of like, well, I guess I need to get rid of him, kind of thing. So they're like,
oh my gosh,
maybe we need to look into this a little bit more. So they decide to have his body exhumed to do an actual autopsy on him. So after this was done, the death certificate was updated in January of 2021 with the cause of death as undetermined. So they changed it from natural causes to undetermined, which I don't really know I know what that means. But what does that do for the case?
Well, I mean, if it's natural causes, then there is no investigation that can happen. Right. But I guess maybe it being undetermined allows them maybe just access to be able to have a case file on him.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm assuming too, but it was just kind of like, we changed it from natural to undetermined.
Why can't they figure out how he died? That's so crazy.
Okay. Well, they I think they get there eventually. Well, they don't know for sure, but anyways, it's not stated anywhere what the findings of that autopsy were though. But they could be holding that close to their belt since I told you it's not fully resolved yet. Like as to what the actual cause of death is, but we do get a hint of it here.
I know what it is.
What?
She's a freaking pharmacist.
Well, yes, she is. It was discovered that when Michael got to the hospital, his blood sugar level was dangerously low, measuring at 21 milligrams per deciliter. So this is really low for someone for anyone, but very low considering he's not diabetic. So there was no real reason for his blood sugar to be as low as it was. Witnesses the day Michael fell ill stated that he was not transported to the hospital within 20 minutes, as stated. And that the first two friends that showed up, the state trooper and physician assistant, they arrived very quickly, but it was stated that it was hours before that Chris Davis guy was called, who was the one who arranged for him to be driven to the hospital. According to these same witnesses, other people had been in and out of the house as well during those hours that Michael was there. So this is like, okay, well, so you didn't call within 20 minutes and you're just sitting there while this man had a seizure. Like, why are you not getting him help?
With a head injury.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So the thought was that Natalie poisoned Michael just as he started questioning things about the company and whatnot, because I don't know, again, because we don't know the autopsy results, why they would think that she had poisoned him, but they did. And they end up indicting her in November of 2021 on one count of first-degree murder. So this is why I've been holding on to this case, because she was scheduled to go on trial in June of 2022, but that got postponed to early May of 2023. So just a few months ago. So I wanted to wait and see how that trial turned out, figuring we would have more information on what exactly they think she did to Michael and what they were holding close to their belt, as I stated, and all I felt like just more information would come out after a trial. However, in April of 2023, they dismissed the charges without prejudice against Natalie. That without prejudice means that they can bring charges up against her again at a later date.
Right.
They're not dismissing
if they get more evidence or something.
Okay. So the reason for doing this, according to the prosecution, was because they wanted to exhume Michael's body for a second time.
Oh my gosh, his poor family.
I know. There's a test that they want to perform called immunohistochemistry test. This tests for insulin in subcutaneous tissue. So they basically want to test his insulin levels because that's how they think she poisoned him.
She injected him with insulin or something?
Brought his blood sugar way lower because it was normal, because diabetics, their blood sugar gets high, they test, they take the insulin to bring it down. But it would never get down to 21 because theirs would be like 100 and whatever something, 200 level, whatever, and you need to bring it back down to the normal level. If you give somebody who has like normal sugar level insulin, it's going to really drop it. So this is how they think she poisoned him. This test is not automatically done in West Virginia and in an autopsy because they don't have what they need to perform it. So that's why they want to exhume his body and have this test done, because it wasn't done. And this is what they're believing.
Even now? Now they don't have that? What?
No, the prosecution found a pathologist in Texas who will perform the test. He believes it will still be a viable test even after all these years. So he's going to come to West Virginia when they exhume him, collect all he needs from the body, take them back and test it in Texas. Prosecutors said they have enough evidence to indict her. They did. They already indicted her. So they had enough evidence to begin with. But this would just be one more piece of the puzzle that would help really put the nail in the coffin, so to speak, for her. So they don't want to rush this testing. And if they ask for another continuance, because there had been so many continuances in this trial to begin with, that they would only get till September or something. I think maybe they only have a certain amount of continuances. I don't know, but
Okay.
Something stated that they would only get till September and they would have to have everything done by September. And they were like, well, we don't want to rush this process. We want to make sure it gets done right. Want to have time.
She's
blah, blah,
already
blah.
in jail anyway.
Right. And if we don't get it done by September, then we lose out on this and blah, blah, blah. Yep. She's in jail. We'll get it done before she gets out of jail. Because I don't think she's supposed to get out till 2030. So anyway, but they said that they do expect that they'll be indicting her again before the end of 2023. And I believe that they will do that despite the outcomes of this test, because they state they have enough to bring her to trial anyways.
Right.
So I briefly had to look up, because I was even asking Jessica, because she's a nurse. I'm like, you can poison someone with insulin, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I didn't even know they would exhume bodies twice. Like, anyway. So
wow.
So I had to look up poisoning someone with insulin, and it's totally possible, like I stated, because it lowers your blood sugars and it's quite dangerous for non-diabetics. According to one source, typical levels are between 90 and say 120. Once you drop below 70, you start to go into hypoglycemic shock, and you get sweaty, dizzy, weak, and confused. Below 60, your cognition is severely impaired, and below 50, a neuronal death starts, meaning your brain cells start to die and you can slip into a coma and seizures can occur. Michael was at 21.
Man.
He's like, well, I mean, like, to me, that's like death. Like, he's already dying at that level. I mean, anyway, Natalie has said that Michael had been in and out of the hospital the last couple of months previous to his death, and I've only heard one corroboration of this. Someone who saw Michael at a medical center once, like in November, like so 3-4 months before he had died. Natalie has also stated that Michael was manipulating insulin and steroids for months, and that the doctors had warned him about his liver and creatine use. I've not seen anything to back this up, but again, the trial hasn't happened, so somebody's probably holding on to that if there is corroboration of that. Like, they have doctors saying, yeah, we've talked to him about this, or yeah, he's been in the hospital. Don't know.
Okay.
Prosecution, like I said, is looking to re-indict her. Her attorneys made sure that Natalie understood when they were going through this process of dismissing the charges, because I guess if they didn't agree and fought that, then they would have gotten until September, and then if they didn't have the test, then maybe this trial wouldn't go as well. And so I think her attorneys were kind of like, well, we could fight this and not allow this continue, or like this dismissal to happen.
Right.
So just so you understand, this means they can re-indict you. And she was fine with that. She was like, okay, yep, let's just go with it. And her attorneys are okay with it for this reason, because they said it will give them more time to gather more evidence to prove that she didn't kill Michael, and also gather more proof that Michael was aware of the Ponzi scheme. They want to prove that, because then that would kind of take her motive away. If he knew, if he was part of it, then why would she kill him? If he didn't know and he was starting to question things, then maybe she killed him, because I don't know why. Anyway, but that's their reasoning.
You know what? That doesn't make any sense, actually, because if he did know about it, then he could tell. He could tell on her, and he could be like, yes, I saw her steal this money. I saw her misuse.
Well, but if he
funds,
was what they're trying to say is that he knew about it and was complicit in it, like that he was part of it. Not necessarily like knew about it and wasn't taking part in it. They were like, they're trying to prove that he knew, and he knew he was spending money that he shouldn't spend. He knew all of that, so that he was like part of it.
So they're going to talk bad about a dead man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make him look like a criminal.
Yeah. Yes, essentially. But I don't know. Anyway, one of the interesting things that Jessica told me was that she was still friends on social media with someone who was a pharmacist and had worked with Natalie in the past. And so after she had heard about all of this, because she's like hearing about this stuff and being like, oh my gosh, my mind is blown. Like, I don't even know what to think. This is a person I was friends with, and she's part of a Ponzi scheme, and now being accused of killing her husband, and like, oh, what in the hell? So anyway, she said after she heard all of this, she messaged this person and said, basically, she was like, I bet she killed him. It's totally something that we would write to each other. Oh my gosh, she totally did. And that friend said, all of us at the pharmacy kind of think she did.
Whoa. And they knew her right then.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not long before, because she had stopped being a pharmacist a couple of years earlier, but yeah. Anyway, that says something to begin with. So, you know, like maybe it's to like just what kind of person she was. And anyway, so anyway.
I would like to think that people would say Beth is not capable of such things.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, same. Although people might say I'm capable of it.
No, they wouldn't. No, I would not say that about you.
I know. Anyways, we think that the kids are being raised by her parents, but again, I haven't seen anything on this. It's just an assumption. And it's just a big mess. Like, that isn't fully resolved, but I think she had something to do with it. Like, first of all, why do you not call an ambulance right away? Why do you call all these friends over there? What, you know, like, how does a 38-year-old just drop dead in 5 days? Like, if he's healthy, unless, like she said, there was hospital visits and he was abusing drugs and of some sort. But I don't know. That's pretty convenient for her to say, and would have to be backed up. So that's why I'm saying that I don't know. It's not all done. So I'm sorry that it's not all done, but I think she did it.
Yeah, I mean, we say all the time there's like no coincidences in murder. And she clearly is a real suck of a person. You know, like, it's not nice. All the things she did and stealing money. I mean, she has a lot of victims. Of like,
well, she clearly she was clearly guilty of the Ponzi scheme. Like, that's
right.
Case closed, done. Do you think she murdered him?
I mean, I think more that she did than that she didn't. I lean more towards yes, only because she doesn't seem like a very good person. But gosh, I just don't know why that seems so dramatic.
I know.
Did he have life insurance? And like, was it money related also, to where she's in all this trouble financially and maybe she could get tens of thousands of dollars?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because him knowing or asking questions, I mean, yes, it's a motive, but like,
not alone, it's not like that big of a motive to kill him.
No.
I would agree with that.
I just don't think you kill somebody because they start to be nosy.
Right. No.
Like, she had to have known it was all going to come out anyway, whether he was alive or not.
Yeah.
So
unless there was like some sort of argument where they were like physically fighting and he hits his head, and then she's like, oh wait, I can cover this up with lowering his blood sugar so it looks like he had a seizure and fell. You know, like, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But also, why would she have the insulin in advance? Like, she wouldn't have insulin. Right. This is laying around. Right. So like, well, this is premeditated then. Right. Which is why it's first degree.
Right.
I don't know. So many questions. I have so many questions, and I'm sorry I'm probably leaving everyone with so many questions because it's not fully resolved, but I believe it will be by the end of this year, and we'll probably have some sort of update. And I just couldn't hold on to it any longer because I thought it was a fascinating, like, weird case. And poor kids lost both their parents in this mess.
Oh, I know. I thought about that too as you were talking about that the mom was raising him. Like, oh man, young kid. I mean, that's awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if she did that to her children, I mean, she already did bad stuff to them, like with the whole Ponzi scheme. But man.
Yeah.
I'll be real upset if they really do prove, because that's just horrific.
Yeah. I'm so interested to find out like more information, like what proof they have, what is all the evidence that they have, because they're not telling us right now. So anyway,
maybe she'll take another plea deal and there won't be a trial or something too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She did that already, but anyway, that's fine. Serve your time. I mean, but
yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I think they would have offered her a plea deal if they didn't have like an us. What do you think?
I don't know. No, because she would have just been like, no, you can't prove that I did this. I'm not taking a plea deal. I'm not guilty.
True.
Well, that's terrible. I hate that for his family, and I hate it for all these families that believed in this scam artist of a woman.
Right. Yeah. She's not nice. She's not nice.
No, she's not nice. We are very scammy in the closet in August.
Yeah.
Over on the Patreon. Like, there's so much scam going on up in here. It's wild.
I'm actually, I think,
and a possible murder.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I feel worse the worst about him dying. But as far as the people who were scammed, I feel worse for those kids who thought they were getting a scholarship.
100%.
Yeah.
Or the people that put their whole retirement.
Well, yes, that too.
For all of their retirement. Like, how are they supposed to live now?
Right.
Awful. She's awful.
Right. Yeah. And she's like ordered to pay this money back. I don't know how she's going to pay it back. I don't know what money's left in what accounts, but anyway.
No. Yeah. $100 at a time or something.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, mess. It's a mess.
Wow. All right, Jessica, thanks for bringing that to our attention. I am so sorry that you have that connection. I would not like to know a person like that. So it's good they drifted apart. But yeah, thanks for that. That was a doozy.
Yeah.
It's a really sad one. Really fascinating, like you said. So thank you very much for delving into all that and taking a little bit of a dip in West Virginia. It's a really funky place sometimes to go. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed it. You'll have to let us know what you think about Michael's death and Natalie over there. And yeah, we love these suggestions. You guys are a lot of fun sending them in, especially these personal connections. They really do make it a lot more personal. That's not the right word because I just said it, but like they matter more. And we hope that we, do them justice and do you guys proud. We appreciate you trusting us with them. If you like what you hear, there's more over on Patreon. Like I said, it's scammy over there in August. So there's a big case going over there. If you want to hear that, we always appreciate you guys listening and spending your Mondays with us. Come find us on social media, reach out, send us an email, send us a voicemail. We got a voicemail not long ago and some text messages for some very special listeners of ours. And we loved it. I listened twice. I thought it was the cutest thing ever.
I do need to keep an eye on that because if we don't use it, it apparently goes inactive because they tried one other time and it was like, this number is not a number. So anyway, we'll have to just keep an eye on it and make sure we keep it active.
Yeah. So. Well, you guys keep it active. Call and text us. So that's fun. And we love you. And always remember, the world is scary. People suck. Hide in your closet.